Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the CANDU Sports Show. Got your host, Scott Blair, here. And,
Donray Bennett feeling good. Philly fan, Philly's most feeling very good on this Sunday.
man, as you should. And actually, we want to talk about NBA playoffs, a little bit of NHL playoffs, because, of course, Philly's looking good in both of those. Chicago is a no-show in both of them. Um, but real quick, just to do a shout out, yesterday was Derby Day, and we had a pretty interesting race, right? Golden Tempo came from, I think it was like 14 lengths back. It was pretty impressive. I remember when they were coming around the first turn, the long shot pick that I had, which was Albus. They were in the back, like they were in that group where it's like, all right, they're done. And then all of a sudden, just kept working, worked that outside line, and man, took out all those favorites. Commandment was my favorite pick. But yeah, just a shout out to the Derby and hopefully Golden Tempo doesn't pull out of the Preakness and the Belmont. Hopefully, we can see if we can try to get a Triple Crown winner because last year's winner didn't compete in the next race. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Had to throw that one in there. So let's get to your Sixers, man. Let's get to your Sixers. That was a wow, big W. Of course, Tatum not suiting up helped the Celtics a little bit, but that was a great game.
Yeah, I mean, just to get there
Yeah,
was a huge, testament to what they can be. I don't think it's a surprise in terms of what they can be. It's consistency has been their issue year long. Yeah, there's been injuries, this, that, and the other, but that doesn't really account for the type of inconsistencies they've had this year. But man, the grit they showed, and then they almost gave it away. I mean,
yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, yeah, let's move Embiid to the corner and let them start shooting three. Like, what are you doing? They have no one bigger than 6'9" out there. Um, and then I think Maxey realized it and he said, "Yeah, big man's out of gas.
Yeah, bring
Let me
it.
just get out the way. Everybody, just get out the way." I owe a somewhat of an apology. I don't know if I owe an apology, but I'll shout out Paul George for some timely baskets and timely defense.
Good D, yeah.
It's still frustrating for me to watch him play, but um, he did he did
Man.
enough to affect the game. So, and he had some pretty big one-on-one buckets. So, just well done, top to bottom. Thank you, Boston, for relying on the three-pointer, even though we can't guard Pritchard one-on-one, and he can do whatever he wants in the lane all day. Uh, Thank you for deciding to settle for threes, and
Yeah.
and when you're off, it's kind of hard to win that way. So Tatum being down, of course, mattered. Not going to act like it didn't, but we did win
Right.
the previous two games with him
Yeah.
perfectly
Truth.
fine. So,
Truth.
um, yeah, impressive to say the least. And the
Yeah.
fact that the Eastern Conference got three game sevens is pretty
That's pretty wild.
incredible. I think it's telling you that, and literally what everyone's been saying all year round, besides Boston, it was like anyone else could go. And now with the reigning king down,
Mm.
it's anyone's ball game. So we'll see.
The fact that the Celtics were even in that spot, period, with Tatum being out, right, compared to the Pacers with Halliburton, right? They're in the draft. Meanwhile, the Celtics kept it running. I mean, granted, the Pacers don't have a Brown type, player of his caliber, but still, just the fact that they were there. I'm glad they lost. I'm saying, I'm glad, not from Celtics, I don't like Boston. I just don't like the way they play, right? And you mentioned it, the fact that they want to do this analytics route and shoot 43s and, just hedge your bet on the fact that you're going to make 40% of them. It's just bad basketball. It's just bad basketball. And from the Sixers' perspective, it was refreshing that they finally, the previous two games, were putting Joel on the block. And it's like, listen, big fella, we just go on the block. We're going to give you the rock and just go to work. They got away from that yesterday, which is why I think it got a little bit more interesting than it should have been. And that's actually my commentary for why we have these game sevens, because you've got Orlando, who was up 24 points, I think, in game six, end up losing by 13. I'm off by 1 or 2 points maybe, but it was a 36, 37 point swing. They scored 17 points in the second half. Like, how does that happen? Because you're you're just hoping your jumpers are going in. Like, get to the hoop, man. Get a mid-range. So that's a bit of a soapbox. I'll get off for a minute. But congrats to the Sixers.
Sure.
And listen, Sixers Knicks, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's get Spike Lee in Philly and let's have some fun with
Right.
that.
Absolutely. But I want to jump on that last piece a little
Yeah.
bit because I didn't watch the Hawks Knicks game.
Oh, that
I
makes it
thought
happen.
the score was an error because I'm watching.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think either the Sixers were playing at the same time or the Flyers. Either way, I was watching. I had the score up in the corner. I think it was the Sixers game six. And I'm looking and I'm like, that can't be right. You can't be up 40 points in the second quarter.
yeah,
Like you can't be up 50. That can't be right. How does that happen
yeah,
with grown? Like I feel like you can take any D1 college team, put them on a court with a pro team, and they're not going to be down 50 in the second quarter,
truth.
let
It's
alone a playoff
yeah.
team.
I think the Knicks find it's a combination of what we just talked about, right? Shooting your shot preferences, where you're taking your shot selection, and then the Knicks, similar, I think, to what the Sixers did for 2 games and a little bit, is they finally put Cat, get on the block a little bit more, right? Let's try and take advantage of that. But
Okay,
it's
but that's offense. How do
with
you account?
defense
Being
and
down
that
50 means you're at home in a losing you're done
will to win. They didn't
and
have it.
you how
They
do you
didn't
lose
have it.
at home in the playoffs on a last game of the year type
That's
scenario
that's the third pillar,
and you're down
man.
by 50?
You gotta have the
So
will to
offense, the
win.
ball's not going in is one thing, but how are they scoring
You know the answer.
100 points in a half or
Starts with
whatever?
the letter Q and ends with a T and has a UI in the middle of it. They quit, man. It reminded me of that Lakers game, the Lakers team. I mean, this is probably 15, 16 years ago when they had the big guy, Bynum, where
Mm.
they just burnt out that last game. They had a deciding game, and and I remember how furious Kobe was because like the rest of the team looked like they just threw in
Yeah,
the towel.
I do, yeah,
Yeah, it reminded me of that game. It really did. So,
yeah.
but let's not. I mean, I'm loving this, right? We got Knicks, Philly. There's a whole lot of drama with that. We look to the other matchups in the East that are also game sevens, like you mentioned. Raptors got a win in Cleveland, right? But Raptor, that's been a pretty competitive series for the most part. And then Orlando, Cleveland, it just kind of depends on which team decides wants to show up. Ultimately, I think I don't have this is not the Bulls in me being anti-Detroit. I just don't see the champ coming out of that matchup. I see the Eastern champ coming from the Sixers New York series. That's just me. So,
Yeah, we'll see how it works itself out because crazier things have happened. But yeah, as it stands now, I would agree that based on how all six of those teams are playing,
yeah.
the winner of the now, of course, if it's the Sixers who win, but they are without Embiid
Yeah, that's a different
and
story.
Paul
Yeah,
George goes cold, and things can happen to where they could advance and then lose easily. But I can't wait.
yeah.
I'm a wait and see type guy. I want to see what happens today.
Should be
Who do
some
you
good
have? Who do
ball.
you have today? By the way, who do you have coming out of those two series? Orlando, Detroit, and Cleveland, Toronto.
So my heart wants it to be Orlando and Toronto. I just like that look too. Two non-traditional markets. I mean, granted, Toronto won a few years ago with Kawhi, but my heart wants that. But my head says the talent's going to prevail. It's going to be Cleveland versus Detroit. Um, As a Bulls fan, that's where I'll say I don't want that. Either one of those markets, but that's what it should be. My heart's thinking, is Orlando finally going to figure this out? It depends on Wagner if he's playing. Hopefully he's playing because if he's playing, I think Orlando's going to win that game. Um, and Toronto, they've had some good juice. Let's see. I'd love to see a second round playoff matchup in Jurassic Park up in Toronto. So let's
Hmm.
see what happens. Out west, though, if I can really quick, pretty intriguing. Of course, you've got Minnesota against San Antonio. I hope Ant can get himself back. That hyperextension of the knee was rough. Minnesota's got good juice, right? Like if they can stay healthy, I mean, losing DiVincenzo is huge. Like that's really going to hurt. But the Bulls gave them Io DeSonmu for like a bag of chips right before the trade deadline. So that helps them. And then of course OKC against Los Angeles against the Lakers. Probably LeBron's last run. We'll see. But those are intriguing. I mean, I'm gonna go chalk there. I'm gonna go San Antonio against OKC in the Western Final, which I think will be great television. And Wemby in San Antonio has had OKC's numbers, so we'll see.
Yeah. Great point. I think OKC should dominate. However, I'm actually pulling. I've never pulled for the Lakers in my life, but I am pulling for them in this one. I mean, OKC is going to have like a lottery pick
Yeah.
and I mean they
They do it
can't
right,
win it.
man. They do it right.
So,
Meanwhile, the
hoping
Bulls
LeBron
was
can pull this out. I disagree. I don't think this is LeBron's last run. I think he's a.
maybe one
Um,
more.
I have nothing but good things to say about LeBron. I'm not a LeBron hater at all. What I will say is he's never shied away. He's welcomed attention and he doesn't shy away from it or whatnot. So I could see him doing the last
Yeah.
lap, getting the appreciation in each building type stuff. Not nothing's wrong with that, but that he
Yeah.
strikes me as the type that would prefer that over, you know,
Just
the
leaving.
the
Yeah.
I my friend the Irish goodbye, is that what they call it?
I think so. That sounds
Like
right.
when you say it when you bounce and no one knows you left or something.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Hope
think
that's
that's
not
right. Yeah, hopefully
ne-
not. I think
a
it's
negative like
yeah.
story connotation behind it. But my Irish friend is the one who told me that. So, but anyway, so yeah, I think it's going to go. I think San Antonio's too much though. It's not Wemby's great protecting the rim, but Castle. I mean, they're a good squad. It's not just Wemby.
Yeah. You're right.
So
You're
I think
right.
it's San Antonio. I think OKC comes out of the West again, but I'm hoping it's a San. I'm hoping it's one of the other three. I think
Okay.
Minnesota's. I don't think Minnesota's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be competitive with even chance. I think that's a huge miss,
That's
a
fair.
huge
That's fair.
loss. So I think it's gonna be like a gentleman's sweep or 4-1, 4-0. Um, and then and I'm just hoping LeBron and the squad can make it interesting if they can get some health back. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and then in the East, I don't know what's going to happen. I could see Cleveland choking it away. James Harden doesn't have the
Yeah.
best.
True. True. True.
I think it's
Speak it. Speak it.
Toronto and Detroit, and then we go from there.
Man. Man, I'm hoping for Orlando just because just something about that market. They need a winner. I get all sentimental when I watch the 30 for 30 of that squad that knocked off Jordan's squad when he came back from retirement. John Gabriel, shout out KU alum, their former GM back in the day.
Mm,
All good stuff. So yeah, let's see, man. Let's see. Real quick, just because you mentioned it, 100% agreement on LeBron. Um, there was a point in time where I did have some of that, a lot of critique about his game. I'm not doing that. I appreciate the time we have with him because he's only playing for another year or two, probably. Um, I'm just glad we have him. He's been able to do it for 20 plus years. That's huge. That doesn't happen very often. So let's just appreciate that. The GOAT debate. I love what Jordan says. You can't do it. Just appreciate what you have. Um, it's Jordan though. Um, and yeah, he's going to take his tour, and that's okay. Like some people,
yeah.
Irish goodbye. I just stat boy. We just looked it up. That's correct. Does not seem to be disparaging. It seems to be an okay thing to say. Um, and yeah, he's not going to do that. He wants to get the chair at every spot, and
Hmm.
that's okay. So let's go to your other squad because again, Chicago's on the outside looking in. I've got nothing. The Bulls have been trying to rebuild
Fly
since
boys.
1998. Let's go to the Flyers. So
Look,
NHL's cooking up, man.
yeah, and we don't spend
Oh, although
a lot
yesterday
of
was
time on
yeah,
NHL here, but one at least for my squad, it's been a couple years since it's there's been much to really go about, and I'm also not delusional. And I think that's the difference, by the way, between Philly fans and others. Oh, they're tough. Da, da, da. No, we're just not delusional. And so if we're good enough to win, we're going to be upset when we don't. And if we're not going to be out there touting ourselves like a lot of these Cleveland fans do with their Browns or whatnot. No, what do you? So I don't know why they just called us straight like that, but
Did you just say
um,
Philly fans are not delusional?
correct. Um, the passion can come off as
I'm struggling
delusional.
with that, but keep going.
So anyway, here's the reality. They're well ahead of schedule. They're an extremely young squad that were probably about a year ahead in terms of expectation, hitting that playoffs and whatnot. Tockett's got them playing some great hockey at the end of the year. They came on strong
Yeah.
against all odds, made squeezed in, and then beat the cross-state rivals in a beautiful um, in a beautiful 6 game set. And these young guys, they're obviously young. They're taking terrible penalties. They get more chances when they're penalty killing than when they're on the power play, which is want to pull your hair out. It can be frustrating watching them play, but when you're reminded that we've got 20-year-olds, we got teenagers and 20-year-olds on this squad doing things that they're not, experiencing things for the first time, that the future is very bright. Vlad in goal has been, no bad goals. He's very solid. Um, and then some guys are just shining a little light, whether it's Martone or Tippett. They got a little. They're showing they have that next level, kind of like a VJ Edgecombe, and
Hmm.
so I'm loving it. Now we are clearly outmatched by Carolina. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
that's no
yeah.
one would. So to pull this out, it would take some extreme grit and some pucks to bounce our way. And I'm not the type to be like, oh, it's a successful season, even if you lose. But I will say, I and other Flyers fans are greatly appreciative of this season, no matter how it ends at this point. We want the cup, but last night against Carolina, it was very clear.
Yeah,
It was we couldn't
yeah.
even get a shot on goal on the power play. I mean, it was, but we got our chances on the PK, which is crazy. So, shout out to the Fly Boys. Thank you for giving us something to cheer about in the postseason for the first time in 6 years, I guess. And for winning a series against the Pens and Crosby and Malkin. Hopefully, we sent them to retirement with that L. Um, it's just a good. It's amazing. And if we're going to
Love
go
it.
down, I'm not saying we are, but if we're going to go down, why not to a flyer great, Rod Brindamore and
Ah,
his
that's
squad.
that's
So
cool. That's cool.
I have. It's all
Salute.
smiles. It's all smiles. Even as they were getting rocked last night. Of course, I had the Sixers game 1 too, so it wasn't too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
But still, it was frustrating, But I'm happy. I'm happy. We're trajectory is this way.
this way. It's
So
good. I, I'm not gonna say anything more to that, um, other than, yeah, just to reemphasize watching the game, it was apparent. It's like, wow, there's a reason why Carolina is who they are. Um, love some of the tenacity at the end, and shout out to the commentators who were like, yep, we're gonna have some game misconducts now. They handed out like 5 or 6 of them after that, which was hilarious. When it I do want to go back to the Philly delusional thing just for a minute. Y'all have been thinking, I lived in this market like what, for like 15, 16 years. Every year, y'all think your Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, even when you got Ty Detmer as your quarterback. That's all I'm going to say about that. So,
fair enough. But it doesn't help that Trent Dilfer did win the Super
fair,
Bowl as long as you have a good enough defense. And we've had
fair.
historically great defenses. So I
I
stand
got
by it.
you.
Slightly delusional at
Slightly.
times with the
Okay.
Eagles. With the other squad, well, you're right. We always think we can win.
I'm glad we went
But
there.
as
That's
soon
great.
as it's clear that we can't, then the passion turns to hate and we got to change and we got to let's make some changes.
Yeah.
Whereas truly delusional fans like these Cleveland Brown fans, they defend everything. I'm up
Yeah.
here saying, how terrible this draft was, or that, or this, this move, and they defend their team. I'm like, what do you This is why they have no impetus to really change their culture. Like, they're not going to change how they operate because you clearly will still buy tickets and do everything to defend them as if they're doing a solid by you. Like, what world are you in?
I'm so
You
glad we
can
did
love
this.
them, and what do you do with your kids when they act out? I mean, you don't just say let them go. You got to correct them, and so
I'm so glad we put a coin in the jukebox for that song. So that's good. And then we'll just close out the NHL segment with the West and the East. Actually, I do want to mention I tap into my inner Tony Kornheiser, especially when the Blackhawks aren't in it, and try to cheer for a couple of Canadian squads. We've got the somewhat Canadian Buffalo Sabres. Shout out to them. And their run, because it's been a minute since they've been relevant. So it's really great to see them. And of course, they're rocking. Um, I don't quite understand still the seedings in the Eastern Conference because technically you have two one seeds, right? The way they do
Yeah,
all that. It's just
yeah.
strange. But they're sitting there waiting on the Lightning and the Canadians is the last Canadian team left. So then, of course, in the Western Conference, you've got Colorado against Minnesota, and then is Vegas and the Mighty Ducks. Well, I wish they called themselves the Mighty Ducks. So, so we'll see. I'm cheering for the Flyers as well, but Carolina probably has their number. So. We shall see. So I know we want to do a quick lightning round, but before we do that, we would like to give out a special shout out. We're not paid endorsers, but when we do this, we try to give a shout out every now and then to some people and some products and such that we appreciate. So for today, we do want to give a special shout out to Half Day. They've got fantastic travel luggage. If you're looking for something to add to your arsenal, if you will, to your wardrobe, whatever term we use. I don't even know what we say when it comes to getting luggage. But I personally have their garment roller. I think it's fantastic, especially if you're traveling for business. You got to throw a suit in there. Really, really good luggage. Along with their double-decker weekender bag, fantastic. So again, if you're in the market for some new luggage, give them a look at, and the OC Traveler, the OC Traveler, follow him on YouTube. He's got some great reviews. Shout out, appreciate him. Good stuff. So I know we've done Spindrift in the past and some others. So today we'll go to Half Day and the OC Traveler. So what are you thinking? Lightning round. I know we want to give some shout outs. We got some WNBA action. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, yeah. Let's the draft, NFL draft. Touch on that quickly. Basically, go Birds. How he did it again. Makai Lemon. Just even if these picks don't work out, he just does. He gets great players. He still fills the holes and somehow manages to continue to get picked. So shout out to the Birds. I will say the Rams. I don't know what you're doing. I like the idea of drafting a quarterback early, but you are in win now mode.
Yeah,
You're literally
I'm
a
with you.
player away from being. You're already the best team possibly. You're a player away from being clearly dominant across the board, and you do that. You could have gotten Ty Simpson later, is my guess, or a suitable backup that can start in a year or two whenever Matthew's done. So, um, other than that, surprise shout out. I just chastised them, but shout out to the Browns. I thought they had a fantastic draft, um, and really across the board, there was only like one or two teams that I thought were, I was like, what are you doing? Or that didn't go by anyone's standards have a great
Yeah.
day, like Tennessee Titans. But other than that, it was a pretty good draft. I don't think there were too many crazy surprises except for the Toledo kid falling, um, and Boston.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a good draft year. It was probably boring for most people, but it was a good draft year. I like seeing teams do things that clearly should make them better. And I felt like that was the case with the exception of the Titans. I feel like that was the case across the board. So, um, yeah, thoughts on that?
I just want to add because there's been a lot of conversation around the Bears draft picks. I actually appreciate their strategy. They had some very apparent spots that they had to get. They needed a safety because they let both of their safeties go. I understand why. They had a lot of interceptions, but really as a secondary, they didn't cover well. Um, and they now have two solid safeties. Thieneman from Oregon is a great add, along with the free agency signing of Bryant out of Seattle. Fantastic. They needed a center, right? With the retirement of our solid center, Dahlman, they had to go get a center. Granted, they got the Bradbury guy from New England, but he's only got 1 year left on his contract. I think he's in the mid early 30s. So they needed somebody. So they got the kid out of Iowa. I get it. Some of the other picks, Yeah, I'm not really sure. I was wishing they were gonna maybe draft the Sutton kid out of Penn State for the defensive end position, but I know why they didn't add to the defensive line. They've got a lot of money on the line. They didn't really perform well last year. They also were very, very injured. So I think this is a put up or shut up year for the defensive line. A lot of them have outs at the end of this year's contract. So if it doesn't work out, they're going to build there. So I get it. They had to plug holes everywhere. I agree. Draft overall, probably a little boring, but it was kind of a draft of necessity into positions that are not super sexy, if you will. And then, yeah, Rams. That's okay, Rams. We want to get you on the second time now. We let y'all go in overtime in the playoffs. Go ahead and waste some draft picks on Ty Simpson. We all saw him play in Alabama. He ain't nothing. WNBA, I'm excited for the new crop of talent that's coming on in. Um, Really loving the new crop of talent that's coming on in. They look solid. But I'm just gonna say Paige Beckers is ready. I'm just saying we're in a UConn house. Paige Beckers looking solid. Can't wait to see the Dallas Wings, of course, with Easy as well and Ogunbowale there. But I'm really liking the evolution of Paige Beckers' game. Indiana looks solid, but I'm still not sure. You know, Caitlin can shoot the three. She passes the ball well, but there's other parts of her game that I'm just not super huge on, but that's okay. And yeah, the Liberty, I still think they look strong. They got so much size around the basket, so let's see what they do with it. But the season starts in like, I don't know, 6, 7, 10 days. I know what I did. 6, 7, sorry. A couple of days. So let's get to it, right?
Yep, yep, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm looking forward to see how it shapes up. I'm very interested to see how the Chicago works out.
Oh,
What
okay.
that dynamic looks like. That's going to be either amazing or a complete cluster, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm not going to act like I know with all because there was a lot of movement
Yeah,
in the off season, so I really don't know what that's going to end up being. We know one thing: Asia is going to be Asia. But
yeah.
which one of those young women are going to step up and be the next up? I think that's going to. So if it's Paige this year, it's Paige. If it's Caitlin, it's Caitlin. But it could be someone else. So looking forward to see what this year's going to be. But I will say in the finals, no New York, no Vegas. It's going to be
I agree with that.
two squads that we don't either see coming or wasn't exactly highly touted to come out start.
I agree with that if Sabrina Ionescu doesn't improve. Her game is not matching where I think her notoriety is. I mean, there's too many times where, I mean, granted, it's only preseason, but she played in a preseason game a week or so ago against the Fever. They put the rookie Raven on her from South Carolina. I think she scored 1 point. Like, what? You're a better player than that. She has too many spells like that. I love watching her play. Shout out, love Sabrina, but there's too much of that during the regular season. So if that doesn't improve, I agree with you. I have to apologize to the Chicago Sky because when we last did this, I threw a lot of shade at them and said, "Hey, I don't know what y'all doing," because they had Skylar Diggins and they traded away Angel Reese, and then it was just like, what else? But I needed to be patient because, like, within 72 hours, I think they went and got Dejanay Carrington, they got Azare Stevens, or maybe Azare may have happened right around that time. JC
Mhm.
Sheldon. So actually, that squad's kind of filled out a little bit. They don't
That's
look
what I'm
all
saying.
they look
That's what
pretty
I'm
good.
saying.
So my apologies, Chicago's guy.
But will they all play well together? Like, so that's what I'm saying. There's so many
Yeah,
moving pieces. That could be a powerhouse or it could be a dud. I don't know the playing
yeah,
styles and the coaching if that's going to work. But that's why
yeah.
I think it's impossible to really predict.
Atlanta, I'm telling you, they look nice. Just saying,
And
Atlanta,
but something tells me that's not going to work. I just feel like they're going to be a dud,
possibly,
and I don't
possibly.
know if
I'm
it's
telling.
my I don't know. I don't know.
I'm thinking about the Sparks, man. The Sparks have been building, man. So, and I'm a Chelsea Plum
I was about to
fan.
say you
So
just what you just
I just
a
love her
plug.
game, man. And especially people don't realize how undersized she is. She's like 5'7", 5'8". Most of the players, even Paige and Caitlin, are 6 feet tall. And the way she's able to score, and she's a lefty. Like everyone loves a good lefty jump shot, just like a
And she's
lefty.
got the swag and the
Yeah,
attitude. She's
I
just
love
got
it.
it all. Yeah.
Love it. So,
Yeah.
Oh, it's good, man. Glad we were able to get this one in. Peace and love, everyone. Happy May. There's more to come.
Go Sixers.
Go Sixers. I'm with it. I'm with it.
All right.
Till next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace.